about some of the policy legacy of the outgoing Trump administration. You've argued that one of the key policy achievements over the last 4 years has been the regulatory agenda. AAF, Stan Bosch, and Dan Goldbeck, our great regulatory team, policy team that tracks a lot of this stuff, just put out a review of regulations in 2020. What were their findings, and was there anything really surprising about that?
Well, I think the key insight is that the increase in the regulatory burden was about $15 billion. That's the second biggest number in the Trump administration tenure. So compare that to averaging over $100 billion a year for the 8 years of the Obama administration. It tells you that even with that uptick, you're not in the same number of digits as we were before. So this has been an administration that has, to the extent possible, reduced the regulatory burden and limited the increase from the rules they had to make. The vehicle by which they did that were these so-called regulatory budgets. You announced each agency you were allowed to raise total burdens from regulation by $5 billion this year, no more, or zero in some cases, or a negative number in others. And that's been very effective on the whole, I think, in the big picture. I think that the Biden administration might want to think about keeping that framework in place. They don't have to have it cranked down as tight, right? They could say, okay, we're going to go from 10, 15, $20 billion, depending on the agency. But it does give the agency an incentive to do the regulation at the least possible cost. And that's a good incentive to have.